Hello, this is Bill Carter, Chief Technology Officer for the Open Compute Project. What is the Open Compute Project? Well, we are an open, collaborative community focused on redesigning hardware technology to efficiently support the growing demands on cloud infrastructure. We enable the industry around the globe to consume, collaborate, and contribute on this open hardware. We are an open organization. We have nominal membership fees. We encourage everybody to attend. We have various workshops that we hold, project meetings and events around the globe. All of our specifications and white papers are available for everybody to use with no additional licensing or royalties. All information is shared in an open fashion. We offer many ways to collaborate. We have weekly and monthly team meetings with global participation. We have project workshops, regional communities with local meetups, virtual events, and once a year we hold a global event. In 2020, our global event actually had to be held virtually. And even though it was virtual, we still had over 10,000 people attend. We encourage contributions, specifications, product implementations of OCP specifications are all considered contributions, along with code contributions for hardware and software projects. And finally, we're a solutions-focused organization, and we offer a marketplace where we make it very easy for you to find the products and the specifications for the community. First off, our technical leadership is the incubation committee, and they really are here to solve common industry problems that we face in the data center and really beyond the data center when we look at cloud computing. They identify these industry problems. They drive a solution discovery process to try to qualify the problem and identify who potential community members are that can help us solve it. They then put together a technology roadmap to work through these problems together, and they influence other organizations, specifically our board and our member companies. We have a pipeline of projects that we maintain. First off, we start with our community members and seek their input and involvement. We also solicit our board of directors to understand their company issues and challenges. And recently, we reached out to a market research company called Omdia, who we worked with over the last 3 years. And they help us identify longer-term market opportunities, and they help quantify what those opportunities are to help us prioritize. This is fed into a planning process, and eventually our incubation committee, which is made up of a dozen highly skilled, highly technical leaders, who then determine which projects should go forth and then put charters together for these projects. Our technical leadership comes from companies like Facebook, Microsoft, Google, Intel, Rackspace, Nokia, and Seagate. In the year to come, we're going to expand this pipeline and expand our community. In 2019, we kicked off a Futures Technology Symposium. We reached out to academia and private sector research through call for papers, where we solicit presentations on cloud computing technologies. The top papers are presented, and we select the best paper, and that person was awarded a $10,000 award for their paper. We think that this Future Technology Symposium is going to play a key role for us to expand our community and expand our pipeline of technology. And recently it matured to the point where we are actually able to utilize this organization. First off, we think we'll utilize it in two ways. One is that when we identify challenges that we foresee, we'll be able to put that out to the symposium in the form of a call for papers and get their input and see how they respond and what their recommendations are. We actually did this recently with a symposium topic called Reimagining Collaboration. And secondly, papers that are presented by this academia group will allow us to look and see what they think are the challenges and the technologies and the opportunities. And we're going to invite those presenters to come formulate new projects and work with the community that we have in place to address these problems that typically are longer term in the 3 to 5 year horizon. So we look forward to really expanding our pipeline and our community using this relationship that we've launched a couple years ago with the Future Technologies Symposium. I want to take a quick look at our current snapshot of OCP projects. We have 10 top-level projects today, and we have an additional 20 sub-projects that are formed underneath these to address various work streams. Together, we have about 50 volunteer leaders from around the globe that provide the technical management for each 30 or so projects. Our most recent project was actually the Time Appliances project. And again, this is a great example, focusing on the data center applications and infrastructures that will greatly benefit by having a highly accurate, reliable, and scalable synchronization of time. And so this is an example where this was presented to us as a problem. We are now able to formulate a group, and we're able to work with the IEEE 1588 PTP group to put together hardware appliances that will meet this potential need. I want to talk about a couple of projects and use these as an example of how we work. We started off looking at what it would take to build a platform that would support a high power accelerator module. We quickly realized that this was a problem that was much bigger than just a single module. It really required the complete infrastructure to cover this. And so that project actually spawned into 8 different work streams. So we looked at an overall specification of a platform that would deliver accelerator infrastructure. It would support up to 8 different accelerator modules. It would be built with various modular boards, a base board, a power distribution board, a host interface board. We would look at security, control, and management of this solution, and we would have to address thermal, power delivery, mechanical, and cooling in this project. That's an example of the depth that some of these project teams go into. We have another project called the Open Edge project. It was started about 2 years ago. We wanted to define a platform that was available for many vendors, yet had interchangeable components. The idea is that we would develop a platform that would specifically address the application needs of 5G and the radio access network. We were able to do that. We have a dozen different products available from many different suppliers today. They're all interchangeable. Not only do they address the 5G application, but they're also addressing far edge applications outside of the telecom industry. But because we do sell it into telecom, we also meet some of the rigorous telecom requirements that are outlined in the GR specifications. And this particular appliance is actually available in a couple of different configurations with several different compute sleds that go into either a 2U or a 3U enclosure. The last project I want to talk about is the open domain specific architecture. This group is looking at building chiplets where they're taking chiplets from different companies and putting those onto one substrate to build an accelerator for a specific application or domain. They had to take into business considerations. They had to look at the design tools, the simulation modeling, how the interposers were going to be put together, how the manufacturing processes would work from various companies with using various die. A tremendous effort to look at the technical aspects and the business aspects, and it's resulting in some very collaborative joint specifications that are being authored. These are just 3 examples, and again, we have many, many more examples of hardware projects that are underway. We also have software projects, and I'll just talk about 4 of those very quickly. The first one is our Open Network Install Environment, ONI. This is the installation firmware that almost every network platform uses today to boot up. We also have the switch abstraction interface. This is really defining a set of APIs that allows the low-level programming commands associated with proprietary hardware to be abstracted into an open interface and protect the low-level IP from those hardware devices. We also have a bare metal Linux distribution, a Linux distribution with bare metal switches called Open Network Linux. And finally, we have a very robust project that was launched a couple of years ago by Microsoft called Sonic. It's the software for open networking in cloud. We have several hyperscalers that are collaborating on that. And more recently, that project has now gotten the interest of a large enterprise, particularly retail financial service companies that are looking at using that as their net and switch operating system. So we work with open communities, and I want to talk about just a few of those. We have the Open Network Foundation and the Telecom Infra Project. These are just 2 examples of many different open communities that we work with. Recently, we participated with the ONF announcement of a certification program. The idea is we want to be the hardware platform of choice for these software organizations. And so working with their certification and our hardware, it will result in hardware that's certified both by ONF and by OCP, and you'll be able to easily find that hardware through the marketplace and logo and certification programs in both these organizations. Another example is the Telecom Infra Project. Again, same collaboration. The idea is that we want to be the hardware provider to these organizations and utilize the expertise that they have in developing the software stack. And the result of that is that we already have 3 projects that have been certified and are available on the marketplace. How do you get involved? Great. We have a wonderful contact here in Korea, Jung-Soo Kim. He's with Samsung, and there's his address. You can also find him on the OCP web portal under the Korea Community Leader. And I just want to give a shout out to Jung-Soo, who's done a tremendous job putting together and leading the Korea regional community over the last couple of years. So where do we go from here? Please visit our marketplace, understand the products, the open hardware that we have available. I encourage you to become a member. We have a page that shows you how to sign up to become a member. We try to keep our expenses very low to make it affordable for your company to be part of us. And secondly, identify a project where you would like to contribute and collaborate and come join that project. Thank you very much for allowing the time and allowing me to speak today. Have a great event.